Do 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 do. Find it. Where are you? Get it going. Make this happen. Let's see it there. It's not there. No. Find. Aha! It is there. Got it. And it is working. Okay, now I'm just going to turn it to public. Where is it? Public. 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 Live is good. Stream is working out, and we shall jump over here. Make sure I've got everything working. It's a bit weird. Do a refresh on that one. With the chat window open. Come on, chat window. You can do it. Chat window is open. I'm live. And that's it. We're cool. We're streaming. It's working. Ha. Right, good. Public, public, public. Perfect. Alright, well I'm going to get started. I've got it all figured out this time. Well, here I say that, but you never know, right? Okay. Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I'm not going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm actually going to try and make a miniature. I've been doing a couple of these videos, and this time we're going to go for the Spirit Naga. It's basically a snake. And this thing, I've got a little plan, I drew a little picture. It's not a very good picture. I figured just a piece of wire sort of twisted round with a loop at the end for the head, and then stick it on a base, and then sort of wrap some tin foil around it, put some putty over it, shape it up a little bit, stick it like a head on it with it sort of looks human. That's the plan. So yes, that's what we're going to make today. We're going to make a Spirit Naga, Dungeons and Dragons miniature. Should be pretty cheap. I don't think it should be very expensive to do. I will answer questions as we go. That's not a problem. So here's my little plan. That's what we're going to do. And what are my materials? So I have here, it's in the description anyway. All the materials and tools are in the description if you don't know what they are or you missed anything. So I have my Citadel sculpting tool set, which is like 3 tools. The plastic one I don't find very useful, but that's what we're using. I've got my paper clips. I use quite a lot of paper clips in these videos. I've got my wire, which is not quite as stiff, but it's all right. We're going to use this most of the time, paper clips. I've got a craft knife just in case I feel like I need to cut myself, or I need to cut something, I mean. I've got my Stanley long-nosed pliers for doing stuff with, and these are the 84-101. Okay, and then I've got tin foil or aluminium foil here, or aluminum foil depending on where you are in the world. I've got some blue tag because I thought blue tag just makes me feel better if I have it close by. I have some bases. Now this is not exactly a large base. Now Spirit Naga is supposed to be a large size, but I have a Naga that's roughly about that size already, and this is a dark Naga, and I don't know if you can see that dark Naga. That looks like it would be pretty simple for me to make, which is why I thought doing a Spirit Naga shouldn't be too hard, because I don't actually have a Spirit Naga. And then I've got here a Galt Spur Naga. Galt Spur Naga, see? Just like a wiggly thing with some little spiky bits on the back of it, and a face with a tongue poking out. Can't be that hard. It's a little bit bigger base. I think that's more like a large size. But I've got 2 bases. I've got like one that's a little bit bigger than large size and one that's a little bit smaller than large size. And yes, I know, Fred, neither of these are in fact the right size. But we're going to use these because I ran out of large bases. I need to make some more. And then I've got this aquatic Naga, which is basically just a wiggly thing that sort of looks Like it's got spines on the back of it and like a little funny little tail thingy, and it's got a tongue poking out, and she's green. It looks like a she. It's not a he, it's she. So yeah, that's the plan, is I'm going to use these as my template to figure out how to make everything else. So let's put these aside somewhere where I won't like damage them. Oh, we're using milliput. I'm going to use milliput. I was going to use green stuff, and I might still use the green stuff, but I'm going to use milliput. And I know everything looks like it's upside down, but if I put the camera so it's the right way around, then I'm upside down and doing everything upside down. So it's better if I'm not upside down and you see everything upside down, and that just works better for me. Okay. Then we got the green stuff, which, as I said, I might use, but it's more expensive than the milliput. I would prefer to use the milliput. I understand this dries hard, it's not flexible, but the green stuff is slightly flexible, so it moves a bit. So yeah, that's the plan. And then I've got my glue gun for gluing stuff, and my glue stick, and I got some spare glue sticks just here. We're mostly going to be using the wire, the aluminum or tin foil, and then we'll probably use a lot of milliput to sort of shape everything up and just give it some details. Okay. Alright, so let's make some space and get these out of the way, because we don't really want to. I just need to see them. Even though you can't necessarily see them, it's probably best if I just can see them. That's the plan. Alright, let's do this. And as always, if you feel like supporting my channel, I got affiliate links down below. But other than that, if you're not, and you just want to show up and figure out how to make a snaky thing with a human head, that's exactly what we're doing today. So if I don't talk, it's because nobody's asking questions and I don't have anything useful to say. Okay, alright, so now I have to decide on which base size I'm going to use. Do I go small? Do I go large? Small, large. Choices. I'm going to go... I like everything large. I was going to do the small one, but now I feel like it's just not as scary. I'm scared of the small one. Small base is gone. Larger base. Okay. So let's just twist. All I need to do is just twist the tail up so it kind of looks like it's sticking up. And then I do like a... I don't know, and a coil around like a circle. It's probably the easiest way, right? Twisty, 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 twist. Little twists. Get it going round. Get some shape. It doesn't need to be exactly perfect. Not that it will be, because I'm making it. Oh, every time I try to do that, it just twists around, moves around again. Yeah, cool. It's got that one. So it is about, it's almost lunchtime in New Zealand. The sun is out. You can hear the birds because there are birds out. It's summer. They do their thing in summer. They make lots of noise. I am not leaving all the windows closed because I will not be able to cope. Hence, I feel like that coil is just maybe just a tiny bit small. So either I've got to figure, I don't want to get too complicated. If I get complicated, it'll make it harder, right? So let's widen that out a little bit and let's keep going. Okay, twist the wire, not the plier. Twist the wire, not the plier. Twist the wire, not the plier. That's the one. Okay, twist the wire, not the plier. Oh, that little kink there looks a little bit weird. If I can get the kink out of it, that'd be good. So what is everybody else doing on their day off? I don't know, is it your day off? It's what, Friday? Is it Friday? Friday for me? I think it's Friday for me here. I have forgotten what days it are. I have no idea what day it is now. I know what time it is, I just don't know what day. Are people working? Are they at home? Is it early in the morning? Is it late at night? Are you painting? Am I talking too much? Wow. Well, that's better. Still not enough though. I'm going to need to join two pieces of wire together to get a decent size Naga, I think. Yeah. Yep, we're definitely going to have to do that. I feel like I should use as much of the space as possible so it's just more interesting. And yep, still too straight along there, so we keep twisting. Crimp, crimpity, crimpity, crimp. And a crimp. Crimping along. I'm crimping. Okay. Well, I wonder if I can go sort of further around and then sort of have the tail sort of wind around, come up sort of near the center of the base. Yeah, I like that idea. It doesn't mean I'll be able to do it, but it doesn't need to be like perfect, does it? It just needs to be scary. That's what we're going for, scary. Okay, and then twist up, twist up. Okay. All right, well that's my basic shape. I don't know if you can necessarily see that from the image that's coming through my webcam, but I'll put it on the white background so you can see what the wire sort of looks like. I'm going to need to actually attach another one to get the rest of the body out, and you know, obviously put the head on it, which is why I've got this piece to hopefully wrap around something, so I can twist things around some more later. Another paper clip. Fortunately, paper clips are cheap. I'm pretty sure you can get paper clips in every single country around the world, but if you can't, let me know and I'll try to use something different. Pretty sure you can get wire. Okay, that's straightening out nicely. It's much easier than the last one. I don't know why the other one was so difficult. Okay, crimp and bend the wire. Yeah. Alright, cool. Well, now I need to attach that so I can kind of go up and do like a curvy bit and then make the head. So, okay. I'm all fingers now. Let's just go twist, twist, and then keep twisting, I guess. Just twist it around a couple of times. Okay, well that end's twisting around. Maybe I'm just going to have to trim off the other end. Oh. Oh, okay, that's actually not a bad idea. If I flick that underneath there, that'll stop it from twisting around, because it's not going to secure it, is it? But if I secure it at the base around the curly bit, that'll stop it from moving. Ha! Ha ha! Yeah, find these things out as you go. Okay. Twist that round. Whoops. It's sort of put out of shape a bit, but and twist. And again, twist. Okay, alright, it's not too bad. Right, so we just keep going around this piece. So that it's attached. Okay, well that's got that essentially attached, that's good. And then just widen it out a bit. And then if I can just, I want it to sort of sit reasonably well so that I've got plenty of contact points at the base. Otherwise it's going to just move around heaps, or it might come free. And I've had a few problems with things coming free recently, or breaking on me, so I don't want to do that again. Okay. Alright, so that looks kind of weird. There's a kink in there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to take the kink out if I can. Well, I took the kink out and then this piece is now protruding. Okay, alright, that's better. I've got to remember that there's going to be size to it, so if I don't squeeze it in a little bit, there's going to be bits hanging over the edge. We don't really want that. Okay, so I think that is almost right. I'm going to bring this in just a tad more, so I've got space to work around it. Okay, so that'll attach there, and then I kind of want it to sort of loop over this way. I think that's the best way to go. So pliers, hold the wire and twist the wire. Hold the wire and twist. Twist and twist. And I'm actually twisting it back and forth. I'm not just going in one direction. Somehow I've got to try to balance it out. I don't expect it to weigh very much. It should be pretty light, the whole thing. And around we go. I don't feel like that's actually tilting far enough back, so I'm going to grab that again and give it another go. There we go, that's better. It's heaps better. Now we're just going to get that to come around more. These, obviously, for those people who are watching or jump in, these aren't like really fast videos. These aren't like pre-recorded where I've trimmed out, spent hours. Because, you know, this is like an hour, 2 hours worth of work. It's not a fast process, which means that you get all of it, the whole shebang. Alright, so I think that's not too bad, and I want to sort of bring that up and then create like a loop for the head about here. I think that's right. So we'll do that. Just mark that, hold there, hold there, and then twist up. Okay. Yeah, good. All right, now let's do this head, which I've got to try and create a small loop with. So I figure the loop doesn't actually have to be very big, but you could make it as big or as small as you wanted. Mine is going to be roughly about there, I guess. And I need to actually twist it around just a fraction. Oh, it's not going to twist. Come on, try it again. No. Oh, it's fiddly. Okay. Let's try it again. One more go. Hold. Twist the wire around. Hi Jack, how's it going? So I'm trying to make a Naga. I'm hoping it'll work. my little orchid jelly worked, or I feel like it did anyway. This should work. I mean, it doesn't look that hard. It's just the face. I mean, the face is the worst bit, right? That's going to be the hard bit. I'm no professional sculptor or anything, And these videos are really supposed to be about anybody can do it, right? But some silly person decided to go and do a whole lot of videos on where to go and buy cheap D&D miniatures, and now none of them are cheap anymore. To be fair, I think if I hadn't have done them, I think somebody else would have done it anyway. What's that, Jack? I'm doing good, Fred. How are you? Well, yeah, and I'm doing all right. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, I'm having a lot of trouble finishing this last piece of wire. If I can't get it sorted, I'm just cutting it off. Why am I even thinking about it? I'm just going to cut it off now. So I should have got myself the little pincer things for little trimming wire and so forth. I'll try and get it off with this. Okay, alright, so it's a little bit of wire gone. And now I've got to try to tuck it round so it doesn't stab me. Okay. That still didn't work. I need another pair of pliers. That's what I need. Is if I had 2 pairs of pliers, I could do this. Okay. All right. Give me a sec. That was quick. You thought I was going to disappear and come back like 2 days later, right? No. I have pliers close by. Alright, let's do this again. So I'm obviously going to have to add stubby-nosed, short-nosed pliers to my description now, because I'm not just using the long-nosed pliers. Do 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 do. There it is. Do 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 do. Okay, well, it's almost in position. I'm going to grab that, I'm going to twist that round so my head is sort of up. Up. Did it work? Sort of. Which is code for no. Alright, well. I can do the rest with putty. Alright, let's move that out of the way. And bring that back a bit so the head is up. Well, I think I've got the wire part of it sorted. I need a drink of water now. That was extremely stressful. Look at my soft hands. They've been ruined. Okay, so let's ditch the wire. I don't think we're going to need paper clips anymore. Move them out of the way. And we can... Ooh, I'm really tempted to wrap wire around here to sort of strengthen it up, but considering how much of a pain it was, I don't know if I should. Should I? Should I or shouldn't I? Should I go straight for the tin foil, or should I go... I'm going for the tin foil. If it doesn't work out, I can ditch the tin foil, go back to the wire. That's not an issue, right? Okay, so tin foil. What I've done is I've like pre-torn a whole lot of tin foil into sort of strips, and I'm going to take the tin foil, wrap it round where I need it to go to give it some basic shape, so I don't have to build everything up with the milliput. You know, if the putty is all of the body of it, it's going to require me to use a lot of this, which I don't want to do. I just want to layer it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not worry about the base for now. I'm going to free myself from the base, and I might actually tear these a little bit more. Sorry, I'm talking and I'm playing with tin foil, and obviously you can't hear a thing as soon as I start scrunching the tin foil. So I'm going to tear them into strips that are smaller. I'm going to wrap it round the wire to build up the body, and then once I've done that, I'll start talking again. Hi, execute. I know, for everybody else, you're probably just about to go to sleep, so this is like the worst time to be having a live stream, right? Sorry, dude. Like I said, nobody talks. I don't say anything either. You won't be able to hear much over the tin foil going crinkle, crinkle anyway. So look, I've just bent some wire, 2 pieces of paper clip, wrapping up some tin foil around it. Like, you guys can do this. This is like, I mean, if I can do it, you can do it. It ain't that hard. It's not going to be like the super duper Wizards of the Coast miniatures that you get, but we just want to be able to get the job done, right? Oh, that's fiddly. Man, it's taken me almost 30 minutes just to do this. This is not a good sign. This could be a long stream. Long. Very long. Very, very long. Okay. So all good things come with time. And I'm trying to squeeze it quite tightly around the wire so that it doesn't shift on me. Otherwise it's going to come adrift. And I don't really want to use the glue gun until I've got most of it constructed. The glue gun is just there as, I guess, emotional support, just in case I feel like I can't solve a problem. Okay, squeezing it, twisting it, building it up. I think the sensible thing to do is, if it gets too long, the stream, then I stop and I do it again some other day and finish the job. But we'll see how we go. Well, that's working all right. So far, I don't feel like I'm in trouble. I feel like that's got it sorted out. I don't actually have to build it up and make it as thick as I need it to be, because when I put the putty on, it's going to add thickness to it. Execute. What do you got here? Will this be recorded on the channel? Yeah, it won't be listed immediately, because what I'm trying to do is I'm making sure that my live streams don't go public as a pre-recorded video straight away, even if it's quite a long one. And the reason being, it gives YouTube time to let me know if they're going to demonetize it or make it not suitable for most advertisers. So this will be available. You don't have to sit through the live stream. You absolutely don't. If you have to go, you can. And yes, I will probably do some, when everything's sort of painted up and completed, I'll do some short videos of the completed projects. Because I think, I know people like the short videos. Long videos all very well, but you've got life, you've got to go to sleep, family, friends, kids, stuff like that. So not a problem, execute. It'll be around. It might just be a few hours before I release it, that's all. Okay. I feel my tinfoil craft is just slightly out of whack. Yeah, good night, execute. Enjoy your night too, and thank you. I should have added to my list of things and materials that you need. Luck. I did it in one video. I need to do it again. Add it back. Luck. Lots of luck. Gobs of it. Oh. I bought myself a whole bunch of tools. I bought a few paints to finish stuff off with. Did that yesterday, and I've got some material so I can make some more interesting monsters. Yeah, I am struggling finding myself some overhead projector sheets. It's like plastic clear sheet overhead projector. I need that. If I can get that, that would be just awesome, but I haven't been able to. Maybe if I go visit my family, I've got some people in the family who are teachers, who are currently employed, so they might be able to get me access to that sort of thing, since I'm sure teachers have overhead projector sheets. Let's just deal with the tail. Squeeze it, twist it, squeeze it, twist it, squeeze, twist, squeeze, squeeze, twist, squeeze, twist, and well, it's got some bulk to it now. I just need to build it up in the right places. Ta-da! Obviously that's not the finished result. Let's keep going. I'm tearing these up pretty small, because it's actually really hard to wrap them around when there's something else in the way. So let's deal with the bulk body section, where I need it to be thicker. Well, that's just delicious. Okay, I don't know if anybody could hear that, but that sounds delicious. Huh, got it round. Now I'm just going to squeeze it into place. Squeeze, 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 crunch, crunch, crunch. There we go, that's good. Let's build that up section just a little bit more, and we'll do it here. Right. Not too bad. Let's keep going. It's a bit thin here, so I'm going to put some around here. I'm going to try. That's too long. Okay, let's build that up a good bit. Cool. Let's do it again. I feel like around there. Okay, so now I need to give myself an idea roughly of how thick I'm going to make this. This is nowhere near thick enough, but once you start wrapping that milliput round, it's gonna get thicker pretty quick. So I've got to make a decision about how many times I'm going to put this on. I think I should just do a little bit more and then we'll go for it. I'm kind of squeezing and twisting so that it'll stay in place. And it should stay in place once the putty's on anyway, but okay. Right, I feel like I'm going to sort of work my way down and try to build up some bulk along its length from the head area. So I'm going to wrap some more around here because it's just a bit too thin. Okay, do that again, up there. I think wrapping tin foil around a piece of wire would be easy, but it's actually kind of tricky. I feel like that is going to come loose. So this is what the glue gun's for, save my bacon. Okay, and a tool, otherwise I'll probably burn myself and I don't want to do that. It's stuck in place, that's the main thing. There's a big piece of glue stuck on my tool, but that's all right too. Good thing I brought it along. Now, that's the thickness I want, and I need to sort of work my way around. round and down, round and down. So the thing with the Spirit Naga is it's got like a flared head. I'm going to put the flared head in with the putty. I'm not going to try and create that with foil. About there. Just wrap round, come on you. Wrap round. Hi Oscar. Oscar, what has it got here? Hey, this is awesome. Time for any encounter ideas for Naga? I don't actually use Nagas very often. I'm not sure I can give you too much information on a Naga. And truthfully, I mean, I've got 3 Naga miniatures, but I almost never use them. I don't know why. It's just never been something I've been particularly fond of. I know it's strange, and I'm making one. Why am I making one? Now I don't even know. But it's a good... Yeah. You know, I can't really think of anything. This is the problem of asking me questions about stuff when I'm doing this stuff, is like I'm totally focused on this. And of course I do the silly thing and say, oh, yeah, just ask questions. And I'm totally up for that, right? Because I'm not thinking clearly. Obviously, Oscar, I'm not going to be very helpful right now. But give me a second. You never know, my brain might percolate a little bit and I might come up with something as we go. I feel like there's so many different types of Nagas, the bone Naga, the aquatic Naga, the dark Naga, we've got the Spirit Naga, we've got a Guardian Naga. I was really tempted to make a Guardian Naga, and then I realised, well, a Guardian Naga is not really that bad, and a Guardian Naga is quite its alignment sort of suggests that it wouldn't be actually too much of an issue. So why would you be fighting it? Unless, of course, you've got personal issues. Your character's a little bit, you know, rough around the edges and just likes to take everything down and take their stuff. Of course, that never happens. But yeah. Well, we'll get there. I think I've used a bone Naga before, and I don't think there was any particularly interesting story background to using the bone Naga. I don't know why. I think it was playing Dungeons and Dragons 4E. That would probably explain quite a lot, actually, because there wasn't necessarily, there was tactics, but there wasn't sort of like a, why is this creature here? You know, is there a reason? What is its motivations? Although no, that's not true. They often did have motivations. Let's not forget they do. You know, that version did offer something. Okay. All right. I feel like I should glue that, but I don't want to. But I'm still going to. Just a little blot of glue, and then flatten it down. Or stick it on. Whoops. That almost stuck on. Okay. Alright. Well, I think I can keep going. We'll keep wrapping the foil around. Build up the body of it. Oh, I hope putting the putty on is going to be easier. Taken me 45 minutes to what layer, maybe 2 layers, two and a half layers worth of tinfoil on this thing, which means you've got who knows how much time to put up with me as I try to make the putty go on. Oh, foil everywhere. Come here. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Yeah. Twist and squeeze, twist and squeeze. Alright, that worked. I know it doesn't look like much, but I think in the end it will. Listen to me. In the end, I think it will. I think it will in the end. It will all turn out. Did anybody watch Matthew Koval's video on Star Wars? Now, I just recently watched it, and for those of you who may have already watched it, I thought it was wise for him to turn off the comments. I really do. I am a little torn about the new Star Wars movie. I almost felt like I had just watched The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi all in one sitting. It was so familiar. It wasn't just the story beats, I felt like there were huge elements. The chase through the asteroid field just came back to me as I was watching the rebel fleet being chased through hyperspace. I was like, it feels very familiar. Doesn't feel quite the same as it used to. Do you know, it's a shame because I really like the characters. A lot of the characters I thought are awesome. I like Rey. Kylo Ren. I like Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren's awesome. And I think that Luke's character is actually quite interesting, but totally not Luke. It doesn't make sense. It's like Luke was there, but Luke as a character and how he operates, it was confusing, very confusing. And I was a little torn with The Force Awakens. I mean, Rogue One. There's no disputing that final scene with Vader mowing his way through the rebels, going after the Death Star plans, was just horrific. It was a fantastic scene. It really was very impressive. But I feel like I lost all the characters perished. And I know they're supposed to, but it was just, yeah, it was weird. And this new movie is, I just felt so confused. I did not understand what was going on. I thought there were a whole lot of beats. There was a whole lot of decisions that characters made that made no sense. And, yeah. And I think that, you know, most of Matthew Koval's stuff people really like. And I honestly think he had it right, that Star Wars was like a soap opera and a fairy tale, and it doesn't feel like a fairy tale or a soap opera anymore. It feels like something else. Oscar, what do you got here? First, I loved it, but after watching a few reviews and actually thinking about it, I really feel torn. Yeah. Yeah, well, I really wanted to love the new movie too. I really wanted, you know, the Last Jedi. I thought that was like, yeah, it sounds interesting. But truthfully, it wasn't even the title. I was only going back for Poe, Finn, and Rey. And truthfully, I wasn't showing up for Luke. That was not my reason for going back. It was not for Luke. So that was unnecessary. I just felt like there was something missing, and yeah, it is really, really hard to sort of know what to say about a movie that essentially is like beloved. I don't know. Is Disney right? Disney believes in happy endings and fairy tales, and yet they seem to be struggling with making a fairy tale. It's very, very peculiar. And what was it? Ray's own personal cave of darkness was kind of odd. It was like a mirror showing more Ray. Not like her worst nightmare, but just her. Lots of her. What's that, Oscar? I feel like they are trying to cater to a broader audience. Yeah, but well, you're probably right. They'll be definitely catering to a broad audience. I just feel like they are going to wind up. They may actually make things worse than George did. George made some decisions, and to be fair, he's not the only one part of making a movie. You know, there's many moving parts to making a movie good. And Star Wars, the very first one, A New Hope, was a phenomenon. I didn't fully understand it when I was a kid. All I knew is all my friends were telling me they were going back for more, and I guess that makes sense. I just didn't understand why people would go and watch it like 10, 11 times, but that's what people were doing. Literally everybody was going to see it, and they were seeing it multiple times. It was actually not material that was completely new. You know, he'd taken stuff from all over the place, but he combined it in such a way, and he had lots of help in terms of rebuilding the script, its creation. Look, the producers didn't really think it was going to do well, so they just pretty much let him do whatever he wanted to. So it was, you know, it's one of those things that might be hard to recreate again. But the concept of storytelling, Disney's had years of practice, and I just don't understand why they can't get that particular story figured out. Anyway, we're back to, we're getting closer to the tail end of my Naga. Squeeze that round. I'm probably going to talk about movies because I like movies. I watched Fast and the Furious 8. The fact that there's 8 movies is frightening, but you know, people enjoy them. They keep going and back and watching more of them, and that was odd. I just don't. It actually felt kind of weird. It was like a combination of different things, and what made it great is it still there? I'm sure that people will keep getting the movies coming out because it seems to be a moneymaker. But yes, it was an odd story. I didn't understand what was going on. Okay, right, I feel like I can probably get away with not putting any more tin foil on this thing. So we're going to shift our focus from the tin foil, which was very, very fun at the time. We're going to go to the putty now. So that's clocking in at 55 minutes. Which means you probably got at least 55 minutes of me wrapping milliput round and mixing it up. Okay, so little tools and pokey bits. Cool. Let's just move that out of the way. I feel like I need to make a bit of space for myself. And we pull this stuff out. What's that, Oscar? How would you feel if The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi wasn't a Star Wars movie and played with the idea and didn't have the name behind it? Is the hype too big? Yeah, I think probably the hype is too big. I mean, The hype's always been big on every single Star Wars movie, and of course when they couldn't deliver the same sort of impact of the original Star Wars, it's always difficult. But yeah, at least with the movies that Lucas was making, he was actually covering mostly new ground. You know, the stories were different. Although I think the Clone Wars and the Phantom Menace, they felt very similar in their nature. One was just with robot armies, and the other one was like clone armies. But I think these movies, they feel like they're literally just ripping material straight from the older movies. I bought myself Ghost in the Shell. I haven't seen that movie yet, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. It should be fun. I'm hoping it will be. I went to Wellington not so long ago, and I went into the Weta Cave. It's basically a store where you buy a whole lot of Lord of the Rings and movie paraphernalia. Okay, it's little statuettes. It's quite cool. I thought it was really awesome, and I enjoyed going. So that's one thing. But they had like a tour of the workshop. Now, I didn't go through the studio. I went through the workshop where they actually make stuff, you know, literally by hand, and with computer bits and pieces. But they've got CNC machines in there. They've got old-fashioned workshop for shaping metal. Yeah, it was really awesome. And so I've been hanging out to see this movie Ghost in the Shell, because they had a whole lot of bits and pieces from that movie in that particular workshop, which I couldn't show you pictures of because I wasn't allowed to. Now, it's a lot of material or props that they were either told couldn't be seen by the public ever because it's not their property, or it's something that should have been destroyed, and they got permission to not have it destroyed, but they couldn't get it photographed. So yeah, it's just tricky when you're dealing with movies, I guess. And I've wanted to see Ghost in the Shell, but I've got the movie, I just haven't seen it yet. And I was trying to pick up what was it, Guardians of the Galaxy. I really wanted to pick up Guardians of the Galaxy and watch that, the volume 2, not the volume 1, not the first one, but the second one. But it's all sold out where I am. There's like no copies nowhere. It's like weird. I don't understand that at all. Still, I'm sure it eventually will come back into stock and I'll be able to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. So we actually managed to talk about Star Wars without really giving away anything. Isn't that amazing? Well, I did. Oscar and myself. I did most of the talking. Okay, squeeze, and so basically you mix the two compounds evenly together and you're doing all right. Oscar, have I done any of the great walks in New Zealand? No, I haven't. I've done walks that you shouldn't do though. Only to discover, like, oh, I don't think anybody's been down this track for a very long time. Most of my time has been spent in a kayak. So I've kayaked a lot. Now, I'm not talking about rough water. Open sea kayaking's boring. It's been flat water and like little streams, rivers, creeks. I've gone from a sands pit almost all the way to, no, I went all the way to Matakana, and then I went past Matakana and tried to make my way towards Warkworth. That's a long trip. I had to drag that kayak over waterfalls. So, yeah, I was young and I went alone. Don't ever do that. That's not smart at all. But yeah, I have done that sort of thing before. Okay, I think that's mixed. We'll flatten this out and try to wrap it round and get some layering on our Naga. This is the tricky bit, is trying to sort of thin it out without making it too thin, because then I've got to wrap it round. Where should I start? Let's start at the tail. Starting at the tail. I feel like that's too much. I'm going to rip some off. I've kayaked most of the Auckland area, and I had a go at going down the Puhoi River. Went to Homai, which of course probably means very little to you guys, because if you don't live in New Zealand it probably won't make much sense. But yeah, most of my time, I like tramping and so forth, but usually I try to keep it to, I don't know, about an hour. 2 hours is rough for me now. My knees aren't as good as they used to be. I went with my brother-in-law not so long ago, and he's like, we're going to go to Twin Peaks. Now, it's not the Twin Peaks from the TV series. It's a different Twin Peaks, okay? So I thought, okay, yep. And he said, oh, just take a couple of hours. And it did not. It was the middle of winter. It was wet. It was muddy. It was horrible. And 6.5 hours later, and I could barely move, and I just stumbled out and then just collapsed. And it was almost dark. I was getting worried. I was thinking, oh, this could be the time that I don't make it back. So as it happens, I've never gone out with him again. I try not to go out with crazy people. Trying to get rid of the seam is going to be the fun bit. Oh. Anyway, some of the great walks in New Zealand, they are days long, so you don't hear of people disappearing in the bush too often, but it does happen occasionally. Okay, oh, my fingernails are gonna cause problems because they're sharp, and I haven't. So now I've got to try to not press into it and make a mess. Okay. What's that, Oscar? Swedes tend to be more introverted. Oh, okay. Oh, whoops. Oscar was an exchange student in New Zealand, but didn't kayak too much. Just did some at Milford Sounds. Oh, okay. Milford Sounds, yep. Great country, lovely people. Yeah, some of them are, not all of them. It's like anywhere you go. There's always somebody who's not necessarily that nice. I have to say that Wellington, the people in Wellington, even though it's extremely windy, they are very, very nice. Certainly nicer than the people I've met in Auckland. I don't know what it is about Auckland. It's weird. I don't actually live in Auckland anymore. I live outside of Auckland. Okay, let us continue to wrap this round. I'm going to go with the sausage. I'm going to roll it into a sausage, and then I'll flatten it out, and then I'll go around the tin foil, and hopefully that is going to solve a lot of my problems. Oh, I went and saw a movie yesterday. I don't believe I went and saw it. It wasn't so much that I wanted to see it. It was more that was what people were doing. Jumanji, the new Jumanji movie. Oh, yeah. It was like watching the new Ghostbusters movie. It was not great. It was really, really bad. I did not understand why they'd made that movie the way they did. And it had a message behind it, which is great, but it was not my thing. Alright, so I feel like I need to just maybe cut off some of that. I may have to go back and tidy up my putty later. That's to be expected. Okay, alright. So let's just blend that in. Almost blends itself in this stuff. It's kind of good. I'm happy about that. It takes quite a while to harden too, so you've got plenty of time to sort of work it with it. Good. Getting closer. Flatten it out. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. There's a little bit. Just need a teeny weeny bit of putty there. It's got just a bit thin. Just joining it all up, making sure I get rid of the seams. Okay, let's do the underneath. Make sure you trim your nails before you start doing this. there's just a fraction, not enough putty just there. It looks just a little bit thin. Okay, we've got that on, and so there's a funny little kink right there, so I'm going to just fill it with some more putty. Okay, good. Keep going. Right. Stick on you. Stick in place. Wrap on. Okay. Okay, that's good. Let's do it again. Just using little bits of putty to fill in the gaps. Oh, come back here. Little patch right there. Alright, let's pat that down. Well, if you thought this was going to be a short video, you're wrong. I don't think any of these monster builds have been short so far. I think the shortest one was the grey ooze, and I made 2. That's got it on. We'll do the underneath. How's it going? Roll for damage. Roll for damage. I think I just watched your channel not so long ago, actually. Did I reply to one of your comments? I think I did. Yeah, Naga. Well, I'm trying. I'll roll for damage. You're the one who did the shambling mound. You did a video on how to make a shambling mound medium size, and roll for damage. You did what? I think it was a beholder, and there was something else. I can't remember what it was. That's you? I thought it was. What was the third monster that you made in your videos? A shambling mound, a beholder, and there was something else, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was. A nightmare centaur. Yeah, I haven't seen that video yet. You guys should go and see those videos, by the way. They're cool. You need to do something about your tags roll for damage, because your tags mean that it's very hard for them to come up in a search on YouTube. If you change your tags, it's a kind of a little bit late now because you've got to do it in the first 7 days, but your tags don't really give the information that people need so they can find you. Okay, let's just do some tidying up here. Alright, there's a little bit of a gap there, but I'll deal with this first and then I'll... what's that roll for the damage you got here? Thanks for checking them out. I max out my tags every video. What do you suggest? Okay, so the tag that tends to come up the most out of everything is definitely D&D miniatures, all lowercase. So put that in there, and I'd also use the words cheap miniatures, cheap D&D miniatures, because everybody wants everything cheap, man. It's just how it is. So I would use that. If you're maxing out all of your tags, I'm not too sure, because 500 characters is, I mean, I'm glad you're maxing them out. I'm just, yeah. And you certainly had more tags than some people do, but those are ones I would definitely put in. What else is there? Oh, making tinfoil monsters. It's surprisingly something that people search for. Obviously no good if you're not using tinfoil, but but for the ones where you do. And what was that thing? The actual name of the monster, obviously, but you usually been doing that, so that's not an issue. Yeah, you use cheap solo. Yeah, no, use cheap miniatures together. Yeah, cheap miniatures. If you just put the word cheap, then YouTube obviously will do a search for everything that's related to cheap, but I always thought that single words was the best way to go. It's not necessarily the best way to go. And I don't know if you've got an app called TubeBuddy. So if you have an app called TubeBuddy, you can actually see what other people's tags are, and you can see your own tags and how they rank. And if you don't have it, I suggest grabbing it. Grab a TubeBuddy app. You don't need the pay version, just get the free version. I just use the free version. I'm not paying them a subscription fee. And yeah, that should help. It should be, yes. I'm pretty sure it's on iTunes. It'll be available for your PC, so download it onto your PC, unless of course you do everything on the phone. That'll be a bit awkward. If you don't have a PC and you're using a Mac, then you should be able to access it on Mac. I am pretty sure it's available. I noticed you got a really good schedule. You post a video pretty much every week, which is good. I have subscribed to you, by the way. I was watching your channel, I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to come back here again. I subscribe to a lot of channels, but it's sometimes people on their channels, they do pretty much the same thing, and you just feel like you're just re-watching the same material because they know that it's got the keywords that people are looking for. It's good to see a channel doing something a little bit different. And honestly, with the price of miniatures going up the way they are, it's only a matter of time before we're all going to find ourselves having to make our own stuff. And I don't just mean terrain. What's that roll for damage? Yes, I try. I don't have it to a specific day, which would help. Yeah, it would help. But you know, not everybody can necessarily check you on a particular day. Busy life, you know. Yes, I do absolutely know about that. Although I'm unemployed right now, so I'm not quite so busy. I saw that. That my email today, thanks a bunch, it means a lot. I'm subbed to you as well. Oh, cool. Yeah, well, to be fair, I think I am partly responsible for the crazy market. I wouldn't say I'm ultimately responsible because, you know, but I've made some videos, and I know that when you do a search on Google, they tend to pop up cheap miniatures. And everybody's been buying up the board games, and now people are going to the Magic the Gathering miniatures. But of course, unless you are in the right part of the world, you can't get those things anyway. And buying them off Amazon only works if you're in the right part of the world, because everybody else is paying huge freight cost. So yeah, it's an awkward one, that one. Yeah, well, I didn't make that many, but I think Blanco's done probably more than me. Come on, you, just stick on. So what have you got planned for your next video? Anything interesting? Will it be another monster? Will it be terrain? Or something else completely different? Alright. I know it looks like I'm not getting anywhere, but honestly I am. It is progressing. Okay. Alright, I think that's got that bit done. The stuff is so sticky. Well, I suppose we need it to be sticky, otherwise there would be no point using it. But what I mean is it's sticking to me. What's that roll for damage? I have a few things in the works. I have a castle banisters in the works now, and you have 3 monsters as well. But they too perfect them before, you need to perfect them before recording. Not super happy with how they are now. Well, you know, I think truthfully I totally understand, totally get it. I have not done this before. You should just chuck it up and live stream the process if you're working it out. Honestly, people will watch. I'm surprised. I always thought, oh no, people won't be interested in that sort of thing. And there's 5 people watching right now. And people have been jumping in and out, and often they're leaving. I mean, sometimes they're leaving because it's boring and I'm not saying anything and it's slow process and so forth. But there's other people who are quite happy to stay, but they can't because they've got to go to bed. The Mirox, what's that? Hi. Is milliput like green stuff? Yes, it is. It is a little bit like green stuff, a little bit like clay. It dries in air, so you do not need to fire it. It's cheaper. This was about 10 bucks New Zealand, and this was 15. So there's a big difference in price. The difference is that the green stuff is, it's more flexible, and it might actually be slightly stronger. The milliput dries hard, so it's not flexible, and I've managed to break it, but then it was a very thin layer, so that's why it probably broke. And I did grab it from the wrong part, and if I hadn't grabbed it from the wrong part, it wouldn't have been an issue. But I get more milliput, you know. Look, these have already been used. See how much I get of this. This is like, it'll be gone in no time. It's like a lot less. A lot less. But yeah, roll for damage. Just live stream your process as you figure things out. People like that sort of stuff. I don't honestly know how long I've been live streaming. It's been a little while, but if we get too long, I'll stop and we'll pick it up another day. Oh, okay, about an hour and 36 minutes. It's not too bad. And I absolutely don't bother trying to edit down or trim down a 2-hour or hour-long stream. They're just too hard to do that. It's just too much work. You'd think, oh well, you just speed it up, but often what I find is it's just the sheer download time, and then the upload time, and then the processing time, and you just can't get it. But you know, live stream it, leave it there. People either will like it or they won't. And then when you get it figured out, then shoot it, record it, and you got a nice clean bit of footage, but till then you've got, you know, an opportunity for people to interact with you. I mean, there hasn't been an awful lot of talking going on here, but you know, I never understood, you know, why people would show up for the simplest of things in a live stream, but it's the opportunity to interact with you. YouTube likes that, and so do people on YouTube, watching YouTube. The Merox. Okay, sounds good. I have to try it sometime. How long working time do you have with it before it hardens? I think green stuff hardens quite quick, but perhaps it's because it is a bit old. No, green stuff does go hard very quick. So I've been working on the back tail, and it's still soft. It'll take a few hours for this to harden up properly, which means that it really won't be sensible for me to work on it tomorrow. That's how long, you know, for it to go completely hard before I can sort of move on to the next step. So you've got a couple of days to wait. In terms of working time, it's a couple of hours. We're only into maybe 36 minutes of me mucking around with this milliput, and it hasn't gone hard yet. Oh, what happened there? That wasn't good. Something happened. We will momentarily disconnected. Momentarily disconnected. I don't know why. Let's check the live stream. Okay, video output is low. It is struggling a little bit. Okay, I'm not too sure why. We're going to keep going though. I'm going to keep putting some more of the stuff together. Roll for damage. I might try that soon. I have 2 small children who make streaming an issue most of the time. I'd have to figure that out. Yeah, no, I can understand that. That makes perfect sense. If you've got kids around, absolutely going to be an issue. Therox, you were cut off. I missed the how long. Okay, sorry man. It was a few seconds. So this milliput, okay, the green stuff dries very, very quickly. You've only got it's like maybe 10-15 minutes before it's starting to harden. This stuff will take hours. I've been going at it for about 36-37 minutes, and it's still soft. I can still ply it and move it around. It just gets harder over time, that's all. So you've got a good chunk of time to muck around with it. Okay. Yeah, the stream was a little bit weak. I think it's still a bit weak. I might struggle. It's school holidays here, so all the kids will be on the Xbox and the PlayStation and the computer playing stuff. You know, I'm on the computer, and it's a fine sunny day outside. But I am also in New Zealand and going outside at this particular time. It's now 1:20 p.m. It's like burn time is like 5 minutes. That's how strong the sun is in New Zealand. Burn time of 5 minutes. The Merox, what do you got here? Oh, that's nice. I definitely have to try it. Thank you for the advice. You're welcome. I'm glad I could help. I got a friend who's into art, and he said, look, this stuff is actually really good. He uses this, and once you get it on, even if you get like a thin layer and you want to work on it some more, you can still attach more stuff and it's fine, which is probably what's going to wind up happening in this situation. We'll see how we go. Make my sausage and then flatten it out. I'm going to try to I've got sort of a more of a straight line and less wiggly stuff, so I figure I can actually apply a lot more now. So I'm gonna cheat. Okay, let us attach down the bottom here. Come off my finger, there we go. That went on pretty easily, that's good. Yeah, just the fact that I can get around it makes it so much easier. The Mirox, what do you got here? Have you ever used Dax clay? Yes. And in fact, I have some air drying clay around here somewhere. I've also used other products. Look, it's fine and air dries, and that's good, but it's fragile. It's very, very fragile, and you know, you don't have to do very much and it'll break. I can drop the milliput and it won't break as long as it's not from too high up. If I got onto a top of a building and dropped it from the top of that, but from standing, you know, like a normal distance, it won't destroy itself. But Dax and the air dry clays just shatter. And I probably will use some air dry clay at some point, but I was thinking I would not do that with a miniature. Problem is, a miniature is going to get too much handling. You know, you don't want it to be too fragile. Something like a terrain piece, making it out of that Dax, is not so bad, because it's not an issue, because it shouldn't get handled as much as the miniature will. Miniatures, you know, you want them light if you can get them light, and you want them reasonably strong. Okay, so you've brought some of that Dax clay, and you're going to try and make some cobblestone rollers. To make a road with it. Oh, okay, that's cool. I was thinking I might use some of that air dry clay and make one of those. Was it the Tomb of Annihilation had like a miniature in the box, which I didn't get because I don't like that set very much. But it had like a big rolling thing, and I thought I could make that. How hard could it be? So that's what I might use my air dry clay for. What's that? The Mirox. Okay, so terrain with bases and support should be fine then, but models and miniatures you recommend milliput. Yeah, well, see, milliput's not as strong as the green stuff, but definitely the Dax clay is not going to be as strong as the milliput. You can drop milliput and it won't shatter. It might still break, but it won't shatter. Sounds cool. Do you have any prices of it? Pictures of it? No, I don't have a picture of it. This rolling thing is on the internet though. Shouldn't be hard to find. I wasn't able to actually get the miniature itself. All I saw was the picture. And I was thinking, that looks so cool. But it's hard to get. Hi Sean, how's it going? And what do we have here? Well, Sean, I'm attempting to make a Naga. I say attempting because I have not succeeded yet. I am attempting to do it. And I've decided to take you all along for the ride. Oh, I think one of my hairs has got stuck in there. Whoops. Oh, come on you. Just stay stuck. The stuff blends into itself pretty easily. It's not too hard to work with really. It's just when it sticks to me. And if I try to scrape it and I don't sort of smooth it over properly, it goes a little funny. But other than that, it's been working out alright. It's not too bad. If you succeed, I will sub. Oh, no pressure. Thank you, Sean. Thanks. Yeah. If I'm going to sub, I want results. Results. I do have other videos, Sean, where I have succeeded, so there aren't a lot of them. It's just a couple. Oh. It's times like these I actually wish that it might actually just harden up a bit faster so I wasn't quite so tacky. My fingers sort of stick to it a little bit. What's that, Christian? Hey, how's it going, Christian? Looks cool so far. You know, I can barely make it out. Either my eyes are really good or your eyes are much better than mine. I mean, it's pretty simple, right? So it shouldn't be an issue. What materials am I using? Okay, so I've used 2 paper clips, bent that into the shape that I wanted, wrapped a whole lot of tin foil around that, and now I'm building it up with the milliput, which is like the cheaper version of green stuff. And yes, welcome to the party, man. Oh, we're getting there. What's this? The Murox. Got to go, getting late here in Sweden and work tomorrow. Totally understand. Thank you for the milliput advice. You are welcome, Murox. We'll see you later. Go get some sleep. Roll for damage. You're still with us. That's cool. Okay, just going to do a quick sort of look and just check that my basic shape is all right, because as I go it is going to harden and make it harder to move her around, and it's not too bad. Okay, we keep going. Ah, looks like you got another subscriber. Roll for damage. Excellent. We are connecting our community. Christian, laugh out loud. Another Scandinavian in here. Yeah? Yeah. Oh, you're from Denmark, Christian. Okay. Okay, let's just... Come on, stick down. Well, I know I should just be wrapping things up, but I'm just going to keep going. It's not like I'm going to be editing this thing or anything like that, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm having a good time. So it could be like a super long stream. Oh, to be fair, I guess it's not going to be horrifically long, because I am getting closer to the head anyway. Now I've put this piece of putty on near the top of the miniature for those of you who were starting to fall asleep and thought this would never end. It gives you a false sense of security. Still got all that stuff underneath to do though. Here we go. More putty. Just maneuver you over there. I suppose you're probably wondering, Fred, why are you making up such small amounts? Because I don't know how much I'm going to need, so hence I try not to make too much up all at once, and then find that I can't work it in fast enough. Does that make sense? Okay, what's that? Roll for damage. Keep it up, man. We don't mind. Besides, they can always fast forward the recording afterwards. Yes, they can increase the speed by 2 times. I had a go at trying to increase one of mine, and it's like, how can I turn that 2-hour live stream into something a bit shorter? I can only do it by 2 times, so I need it to be able to increase by a lot more than that. But I'm not using YouTube's enhancement trim tools anymore, because it just keeps messing up the video. Okay, is that roughly the same size? I think that's not quite the same size, so let's put those two together, wrap those up, and fold it in. What's that, Christian? It's funny that you are making a Spirit Naga. I just brought a mini yesterday, and I thought would make a great Spirit Naga. I plan on using it in my Against the Cult of the Reptile God campaign. Well, that sounds cool. Oh, that's where I've used a Spirit Naga. There was an adventure run through the Dungeons and Dragons Encounter program, and it had I think it had a Spirit Naga in it, or some sort of Naga anyway. Whatever Christians purchase has got to be like snake-like. Well, that's not going to work. Let's take it off. Ah, giant cobra. Oh, sounds good. What's it, Sean? Have you ever considered starting with a plastic cobra and building it up? Well, I suppose I could have if I had a plastic cobra, but I didn't have one. So, and also too, my concerns with starting off with something else is that if you aren't in the right place to be able to find exactly the same thing that I had, then it's very hard for somebody to duplicate what I'm doing. You know, if I was just doing this for the sake of doing this, I had a few people say, look, can you show us how to make miniatures? And I was like, okay, but I've got to use materials that everybody can get their hands on, otherwise it wouldn't make any, you know, it's a bit hard for them to duplicate. Now everybody should hopefully be able to get a paper clip, tin foil and milliput, or some sort of putty or green stuff that's similar. And you could make the whole thing out of FIMO, that stuff you bake in the oven if you wanted to. The oven baked clay. Okay, very nice. Funny little hair there. Wrap you around. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons miniatures for everybody. You know, no matter where you are. I think that's how it should be. Which is why I'm trying to make everything out of materials you should be able to get hold of. And what's that, Christian? A roll for damage. Yeah, that's a good approach to mini building. Well, you did something very similar yourself. It's a good idea. Christian, I just subbed to your channel, roll for damage. Saw you had a video about playing with only 2 players, and that's exactly my problem, if you can call it that. Yes, running games with very few people can be very tricky. Did you pick up any good advice? I've got a video myself on running very small groups somewhere out there. Okay, it's getting closer to the head. So roll for damage. You prefer 2 or 3 players? My gosh, I wish I could get just 2 or 3 players at my table. Okay, so that is that. Let's get this. Yeah, I've run groups of 13 and 8, 7, 5, 6, 4, 3. the more people, the harder it gets. And actually, you know, once you get under 3 people, it's pretty tough too. It doesn't take an awful lot for things to go haywire without you having to sort of step in, if that's the sort of person you are, and try to make everything sort of work out. Okay. There we go. Put that over there. Tap that down. No, look, to be fair, it was publicly advertised 13, and I was running an adventure called The Rise of Tiamat, and it was the final battle and everybody wanted to show up, and I suddenly had 13 people at my table, and yeah, as it happens, Tiamat was not able to stand up to 13 characters. It just didn't work. Not to mention there were 13 brains that were obviously much smarter than I was, even with all the copious powers that she had and abilities. Yeah, so yes, it does happen. And I also ran like an X-Files Dungeons and Dragons adventure, and unfortunately for me, I didn't realize that it was super popular, and suddenly my table was like over full. I don't really do online games, Sean. I don't really need to. I mean, I could, I suppose, if I wanted to, but I don't play online because I can play in person. I would prefer to play in person. I started playing Dungeons and Dragons because I was into wargaming, and I just like miniatures, stuff like that. I decided the wargaming wasn't getting me anywhere because I really didn't have any friends from it. They were like more competitors than anything else. So I tried Dungeons and Dragons, and I do it because I get that social interaction going. And I know you can do that online, but I feel like it still feel like I'm in the darkened room with the Xbox or the PlayStation playing with myself. So hence I try not to and that's not what I meant. Hence I try not to sort of do that if I can help it. Because, you know, Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, I mean, you've got to do it if there's nobody else around, but I can get people together to play. That's not the issue. Well, it's not anymore. I solved that problem in my country. I decided to make a Facebook group and everybody joined. Ah, dear. Okay, we are getting closer to the head. Yeah, you're right. Roll for damage. I feel like I was just buying stuff. I had like a stockpile of stuff I never really used. There was just too much stuff to get through, and it was just becoming like a buying fest. Oh, flatten it out, flatten it out. Okay, I'm going to cover that little patch there. Now I'm definitely going to have to put more on the head so that I've got something to play with, to maneuver it around, because I've got to, somehow I've got to create a face. What's that, Christian? Gotta go. It's like 1:50 AM here in Denmark, but it was nice talking to you guys. Hey, nice talking with you. Definitely go to bed. It is way too late. It's time to get some sleep. Okay, now I want to put on sort of like a flared up head, so we'll take a little bit off here, and I want to use quite a bit near the top. Well, I probably should just build up, just quickly build up the front features, or front of the face, so I've got something to work with, so it's not too thin. So oh, I'm getting hungry. I can feel it. I need food. Blend it in. Now, basic shape of the face. Roll for damage. What was the name of the tube app again? Tube Buddy. Tube Buddy. Okay. I feel like that has got that mostly sorted. So now, how do I do this? I think triangle shape, flattened out. Triangle shape. Yeah, Fred. Come on, you can do a triangle. Come on, make it happen. Triangle shape. Still trying. Flatten it out a little bit. And it's got a sort of rest, maybe flatter. Yeah, I do paint. My eyes aren't very good nowadays, so I'm not very good at it. I used to be better than I am now, but yeah. And I do videos on or streaming. I stream my painting. But yeah, like I said, it's not fantastic stuff. My younger brother is much better at that sort of thing than I am now. Just my eyes and my hands are a little bit shaky. Oh, I'm just trying to get this kind of reasonably even. It's actually not so easy to do. If I do it on the table, maybe it'll be easier. Okay. There's a point where you've just got to accept that it's either alright or it's not alright, and I'm going to accept it's either right or not right now. So I'm just going to mount it. And I'll blend that in. Wrong side of the tool. My hands are so sticky. Sticky. Alright, let's just press that in. Now I'm just going to pinch it in. I can just attach this thing. Oh. Okay. Flare it a little bit. Press it down on the front. And I think I've got the basic cobra shape at the front. One of the basics anyway. Okay. Alright, now let's see if I can get some details into the face. Oh, sticky. This end here has certainly got a lot harder. Right, so first of all, make sure flare it a little bit. Okay, alright, so now I need a face. Tools. Oh, I think I'll need that. I'll definitely need this. And my first job is to try to create a mouth. So, creating a mouth. I feel like just about there, in and down. In and down. That seems to have created what I wanted. And maybe round it out just a fraction. Make it a little bit wider. Okay, well, here's the beginning of a face. Alright, next, nose. There's the tricky bit. I was trying to figure out how to do the nose, which I should have built up before, but I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to just create it. Actually, maybe eyes first. If I do the eyes first, I want sort of like some slit-like eyes. And create a nose. Okay. And I don't know that I need to necessarily do too much up here, but I'm going to make them. It's got a nose. I'm going to see if I can't make him look a little bit scarier. Okay, it's that, and then I think I should give him a tongue, something that's sort of sticking out, tongue-like. Mix up some more, I guess. Yeah, okay, well, I'm not a fantastic individual at sculpting, so I'm going to give you a close-up so you can see sort of what I've done with the face. And it isn't anything magical or anything like that. It's just fairly basic. And I'll just hold it here so you get a decent view. And then once you've had a good look, I will put the tongue in, and then I'm going to probably, I don't know, put some detail down the front of it, just a little bit, and then I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know if I've got it in the right place. I've been holding it here a little while. He's a little bit lopsided, so I'll try to unlop him if I can. But it's got some eyes, it's got a nose. It's a little bit hard to make out the detail. It's not a fantastic thing. I mean, like, anybody could do this. This isn't that hard. All right. Okay. Tongue. Let's do a tongue. Don't need too much. Yep, that ought to be enough. This is the problem with mixing up such small amount. It's like very difficult to sort of mash it together. Okay, oh, there's my little bit of putty, and now Okay, all right. Okay, where's my tank? And split it. Come back to you, that'll be last. Okay, next. Where is it? Yeah, it's there. Okay, and then my fingernail should be enough. How's this going to work? My little finger. Okay, just put the tongue in. Good enough. All right, so this is what I got. It's I'm no professional sculptor, but essentially this should just dry out and I can glue it onto my base later on, which is what I'll do. I've got myself a tongue. I've managed to sort of put the flaps on the side on. I've given it some sort of texture in the front, and it's got some sections for the eyes. It's got a nostril on each side, it's got a nose, it's got a mouth, and yeah, that's my Spirit Naga. It is not exactly like the picture, but then I knew it would never be exactly like the picture, but yeah, that's what I've got. So I'm going to finish up there. I'm going to let this set and dry because it's going to probably need a lot of time to set and dry. And that is that. And there's my other Nagas. This one's going to be quite a bit bigger and quite a lot taller. It's not quite as thick as some of the others, and I haven't put like a back spine on it. I was looking at the picture of the Spirit Naga and it doesn't seem to have that sort of thing, so I haven't put a spine on it. But in any case, I think that has been reasonably successful for today. I am going to sign out, and look, all of the materials that I used, all of the tools that I used will be in the description, so you know what you can get together to make this work. The process you'll have to watch the video for. Thanks Roll for Damage. And what I really want you to do is, you know, if you liked this video, please share, like and subscribe it if you haven't already subscribed, which sounds like a few people who have already subscribed, so that's awesome. I do videos every day. There's always a video that comes out every day from my channel. So you can click on the bell button later on some of my videos if you wanted to and get occasional notifications. But I do a video every single day, so you don't necessarily need to have notifications. Just go to my channel, you'll find another video there. If you want to support my channel, the affiliate links in the description to the tools that I was using. You can buy them online if you want to, or you just go down to your hardware store or your game store or whatever. But if you want to support me, buying them online is great for me because you pay the same price provided Amazon works for you, and I get a small commission, which is great. I love it. It's cool. It's wonderful. It's one of the reasons why this channel will probably be successful in the future. It certainly won't be on YouTube ad revenue. And anyway, I'm going to say till next time, keep rolling those 20s. And now I've got to find the sign out. Where is the sign out little button? There's a stop streaming button here. There we go.